Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm Heather Aston. This is my channel, TT's Trinkets and Treasures, unless you're watching on Beki's channel, and then it's BekitoBurrito. But still, this is our show. It's called Beading Besties, and I like to bring different people from the beading community on so we can get to know them a little bit better, learn their jewelry story, and then they'll demonstrate a little something. Plus, I'm hoping all of you guys saw that I sent some beads to Beki, and I'm dying to know which are her favorites and which ones Jenny's like, nope, those are mine. And so I know if I need to send more.
Split a strand. Our mom taught us how to share.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But we've gotten way past our bickering stage. We learned how to share. It's awesome.
Okay, but if you guys need more of the polka dotted ones, I split up a strand. So let me know the ones from the late 1800, early 1900.
Oh yeah, those were
really
so cool.
I love that they had the pink and aqua spots. That's why I picked them to send to you. I was like, she's gonna love these. But anyways, let me introduce my guests. Beki Foster is down on the bottom of the Brady Bunch screen tonight. And Jenny is her sister. And Beki has her channel, BekitoBurrito, and Jenny has been coming on lately, which I love because I love seeing the sister relationship between the two of you. But let's see who we've got with us. We have your mama, first one here. What a good mama.
She's a great mom.
We have Barbara and Chris, Tammy, Cynthia, Maggie, Gina, Georgina, Tina, Martha. We have Linda from Down Under.
Hi, Linda.
And we have Dawn. So, how was your guys' Easter?
Well, are you asking us or chat?
No, how was your Easter?
It was good. It's really low key at my house because we don't have little kids or anything like that. And it's just me and my brothers and my son. So, I divvied up some candy and then I made a roast tonight for us to have. So that's about it.
Awesome. Really how about you, Jenny?
About the same. It's just me and my husband. We don't have kids. Our kids either have fur or they live in other countries because they were exchange students. Gotcha. So that's the way our family works. So with it just being the two of us, we roasted a ham because that's the go-to for Jason and his family. And we roasted a ham and super basic. We just had ham and rice. Like we didn't even do any fancy sides or anything like that, and played video games all day. And we had a blast. Because that's one of the things we do together.
Yeah. I'm at my sister-in-law's house. She is amazing. She set this up. I was going to run home, but food wasn't done yet. The only thing that was done was the ham and mashed potatoes that we brought. We brought the ham. I made the potatoes. And she's like, I have 3 laptops. Can we try to set you up so you can stay longer? And I'm like, okay, if we can set it up. And thankfully, Beki was able to jump in early just to make sure I could do it. And,
tested it out, had a little chat.
I had 2-factor sign in on everything. So that was kind of a pain in the butt. But other than that, it was great. So I am dying to know your guys' jewelry story. So why don't we start with Beki? Because who started first, Beki or Jenny?
Jenny.
Technically me.
Oh, well then Jenny, go first.
Jenny. Yeah.
So, when I was in junior high, I think it was one of my aunts got me started beading. She even gave me a beading loom, but it was all seed bead stuff. And so I would do all these pretty combinations and patterns with just single strand seed beads and sell them to my friends at school. My brother bought 5 of them and he wore them for years. But then I started to get other beads. I was like, oh, I can do some stuff with this. And I tried doing some with stretch cord and with plastic line and, tried several things. And I didn't know how to finish. And so being the whole gifted child syndrome kicked in, where like, I'm not good at this right away, so I'm just going to stop. That happened. And so I stopped because this was, I mean, we're talking, you know, like early to mid 90s. There was no YouTube. There was no easy source to go and, you know, learn how to do the things that I need to do. And so I have beads I've been carrying around for literally 20 plus years that I haven't done anything with. And then Beki's story started more recently.
Beki, fill us in.
So for me, I think I had actually like sort of started a little bit before the pandemic, but it wasn't very much because, again, I didn't know how to finish things. And I didn't have anywhere to like really learn from. But during the pandemic, I suddenly had so much more free time because I wasn't training for powerlifting competitions and I wasn't having to commute to work all the time and, you know, being gone from home for 10 hours a day or more.
I love how you just drop that so effortlessly. Like, it's nothing. I wasn't training for powerlifting. Come on, lady. You are strong.
Not as strong as I used to be. I haven't trained for a while. So
okay, but you are strong in so many other ways besides just that. But
yeah, but anyway, so like I was just desperate for something to do because I had been a knitter for a long time. Like at least 10, 12 years I had been a knitter, and that was like my main hobby because it's something that I could do easily while I was recovering from my workouts. You could just sit and knit and just, you know, make pretty things and have something to wear. But knitting takes a while. It's a craft where you start and like even something small like a pair of mittens or socks or something, it's still going to take at least a day or two. But then you've got other things that are larger that'll take weeks to finish. And I needed at that point when like everything else that was going on, my foundation was being repaired. I was in the middle of projects working from home. And I was like, I need something that I can start and finish like in a day. And so like I started doing like some embroidery. Like I got really, really into embroidery and I did that. But it still like is a slower craft. It was more immediate than knitting, but it wasn't as immediate as something else. So jewelry making, it was something that you could do it, like get finished in like 10 minutes for a pair of earrings, you know, an hour for a necklace or less. It was something that I could have that satisfaction of I completed this, I finished this, without having to wait. And so, but I also was trying out different crafts at the time. Like I would get like craft of the month kits. I got like there's Annie's kits has like beads or is it beads or
beads and yarn.
Yeah, they've got a jewelry making one.
They've got a bunch of them.
Yeah, and so I started out actually with that, and then I got like the Sunny Clue kits, and I would just make earrings. You know, it would be like my centering time in the morning. I'd make a pair of earrings. At the time, I would make the earrings, and I'd like take little pictures of like the steps to it. And I was on Twitter at the time. I would post a little picture of like this step with like some whatever thought I was thinking. I was like my deep thoughts with Beki, right? First thing in the morning with my little step-by-step earring photos. And like, it was dumb, but it was something that I really enjoyed doing. But then I would keep making things, and my brother commented, and he was like, "You just like talking to yourself." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, I'm just talking to myself while I'm making things because why not?" It's way less weird if I do it on camera and post it on the internet than if I'm just talking to myself. So that's why I have a YouTube channel.
That's awesome. And you kind of took off. I was looking around on your channel, and your like 1,000 subscriber giveaway
that was a while ago.
Like it said a year ago, which I understand that until it's 2 years, it's gonna say a year ago. But you've grown really fast.
It's coming up on 2 years for that.
Yeah.
It would have been,
And I love how you use various different items. I love that you include silver silk. I really didn't know a lot about them. without you. I was like, what is this stuff? How do I use it? I love the findings. I need to buy more findings because I've got the silver silk. The one thing I haven't figured out how to use is like more of the flat mesh.
Flat mesh is one of my favorites.
Okay, do you have like a playlist? It's all silver silk?
Yeah, I do. I like organizing my stuff and like sorting them into. I like sorting things. You might know this about me. I like to sort things and categorize them. So I have categories. And like, something that I included silver silk in will be in the silver silk playlist, even if it's like a Jesse James Beads thing or something else. They can be in 2 different playlists.
Yeah, she'll be like, what's like? I noticed that you'll, especially like her bracelet bashes, which are several different boxes and things like that. Mm-hmm. Those videos will end up in each of the appropriate playlists because if someone's looking for inspiration, that's where they can go for it. And so she'll put it in more than one playlist if it's applicable.
Right. And I actually took steps or like notes when I decided to do my channel. I was like, am I putting too many playlists? And I went and looked at hers and
do I have too many playlists, guys?
No. Not at all. I love how detailed it is. Nothing drives me more crazy than when all they have is like all one folder.
Hold on, guys. Because Melanie, hold on, where's the
Melanie's comment? Yeah.
I never noticed. Yeah.
No one notices that.
Right. And see, I had to do that because
chat, do I have too many playlists? Or is it just enough, or do I need to add more?
No, I love it. My thing for the bead boxes is I break down the per bead cost because I'm really big into empowering people. Like if they're making jewelry more than just for themselves, but haven't gotten it out there yet or whatever else, that is what I like to do. And I cannot tell you how happy it goes from someone saying, nobody in my life ever even knows I make jewelry, to getting a 9 o'clock phone call from a number I don't know, and they just had to call me because they got their first custom order. And I'm like, that's where I
love that because
happier.
I get questions. People will ask like, how would you price this? And I don't sell my jewelry, so I don't have those answers.
Yeah.
But you do. You've got those answers. And I love that.
Yeah.
And
I just want to empower women to if the beads cost you $10, that doesn't mean you sell the bracelet for $10. Like, you are value. Your time has value. Your design skill has value. And so I break it down in multiple ways. So does Rosanna Bradford from In Rose's Gardens. She's really good at breaking things down as well. Mine is TT's Trinkets and Treasures. And because I'm not on, hold on 1 second, I will get the link real quick.
Becky, post a link in chat so that your followers will get a link to her YouTube.
All right. We've got Steve manning the chat.
Yeah, but he doesn't know how to do that.
Oh, yeah.
I love him, but
that's fine. I will grab a link real quick.
Yeah, I'm not on my own
Heather's
computer.
Channel.
Otherwise, I would have it. Yes, my son.
I do have my computer up here, and I'm signed into chat here, so I can.
My son was over helping me get the invoices done and everything else, and I'm like, everybody keeps saying they can't find my channel, and he's like, well, what's happening when they put? So then he pulls it up on his phone. He's like, oh, I can fix that. And 2 seconds later, he's like, done. I'm like, I've been struggling with this for 3 weeks. Why didn't I think to ask him? But yeah, so I'm TT's Trinkets and Treasures. I am still part of Campbell Creations, but I'm stepping out from behind the shadows, everybody. And I had to start giving myself the same advice that I give everybody else, and that is that I have value, and I have value by myself, not just as a support system. So I took the leap, jumped in, and I've been loving it, and it's been a blast. I'll plug myself a little bit. I'm going to have some new subscriber giveaways. So when I hit 250, one person will win 250 beads. When I hit 500 subscribers, when I hit 500 subscribers, somebody will win 500 beads. When I hit 1,000, somebody will win 1,000 and 10 other people will win 100 free beads. So, and Becky sees the beads I like to send people. So yeah. Speaking of Becky.
Dana, I had the same experience. I looked up her name in order to find her channel, but it sounds like her son fixed it. So now it can be found either way.
Exactly. It is. Yes, you can type in TT's Trinkets and Treasures. It doesn't have to be all one word in order to find it anymore. I guess you can put in like different ways so that if somebody does it and everything else. Amy is good. She is good. We're allowing her to take the time she needs to get there to where she's comfortable coming back. And so, yeah, it'll be great.
That is a good question, Terry. Right now I am getting it ready to donate. It's not donated yet, but there's a lot for me to go through. I do gift a lot of it to people.
I'm wearing a necklace she made.
She's wearing one of the things I made. Mostly it's to family that I gift. When Jenny came to visit me, her, I guess, grandmother-in-law.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
My husband's sweet French grandmother. She's darling. Yes.
She's the sweetest lady in the world. Yeah. She loves like turquoise jewelry and that sort of thing. And so she got to dig through the stuff that I'd made and pick out some things to give to Granny. And so that was really fun.
I loved them all.
And I will tell you that what I do with my jewelry that I make, I donate it to my church sometimes so that if somebody's having a hard time, somebody can take and drop it off as a little pick-me-up. I have donated it to Goodwill job centers so that people can not just have whatever hand-me-down clothes, but they have something new that's there. I've worked with the prom projects where they help women or young ladies from lower income families to have a nice prom dress, and I donate the jewelry. Therefore, they get to keep that. That's theirs. They got to pick it out because it was what they liked and it's nothing else. I have also donated it to domestic violence shelters for when they're getting out, because a lot of the time they don't get a chance to take very much stuff with them. So it allows them to start building that again on their own, because as women, we feel better when we feel put together. Like, we feel better when we feel like we look good. And so if there's anything that I can do to help somebody who's been in a difficult situation feel better, I'm gonna do it all day, every day. So yeah.
I had Dana ask if I actually organize my finished jewelry, and the answer to that is no. It is not organized. It needs to be. That's going to be a whole project for me. But that's one of the reasons why I haven't gotten it to donate yet, because I haven't. What, Jenny?
I was gonna say, the sister butting in. She does organize it, but it's the same kind of organization she uses elsewhere in her life, which is organization by pile. Not nicely, tidy, organized. She organizes by pile. She probably knows what pile it's in, but is it just
Miss Beadbox? Miss Organized the Beadbox has.
I know. Well, that's because my life is chaos, basically doom piles.
Organized,
but I can't doom pile my beads.
Oh yeah,
it doesn't work for me.
No, because you won't be able to find anything. And
exactly.
See, I have bead foam though, because I have to have everybody out, because I'm afraid if something's not there and I don't try it, I'm gonna miss the best pattern, the best bead collection, the best whatever. But yeah, so it's fun. Or you do things like send your buddy some beads so that she could share them and let you guys know that we have a great bead shop here locally called Bernie's Beads, and he does not have anything in his shop that, like gemstone wise, that is below an A grade. He has done like buyouts from Joann's and whatever else, and those are all like on a middle table. but he literally has like rows of vintage check glass and all bone beads and African trade beads. And it's been a lot of fun. We've done 2 live sales now, and it's been a lot of fun. Just because the sale's over, though, if you want to go back and watch them and order anything, you just send me an email, which is the exact same name as my channel, TT's Trinkets and Treasures at gmail.com. And we can go through all of that, and it's fun.
That's also where you can contact her to find out about the bracelet mandrel that I keep using.
Yes, you can do it there.
Same
or
location.
Absolutely. Let's just keep it to that email address because that'll make it more easy. It'll make it simpler. But yes, if you guys like, and it's funny because even Bernie was like, I just don't understand why you need that. And I'm like, well, because the beads on the inside of the bead strand take up the inner diameter. He's like, oh, you just add 2 beads to the end. And I'm like, that is an old wives' tale that does not work. And one of the hardest things to learn when you begin making bracelets is that just because the diameter of a person's wrist, that doesn't mean that a specific bracelet that exact length is going to fit. And I had to explain it to him like 5 different ways. And finally, I just pulled out a Post-it and like drew his line and put beads. And I'm like, look, it took him like putting 5 different bracelets on the mandrel, taking it off, measuring it with the ruler, taking it back off, putting it on. And then he was like, this is freaking genius. And I didn't come up with it on my own. Obviously, there are paper versions that you can order, but those are $10 and they get wrinkled really easy. Whereas these are hard plastic made on a 3D printer that are very durable. We have them in the color that Becky has, and we also have it in gray and in black. And mine is black. And what I did so I could see the measurements easier is I just did the same thing that you would do when you stamp metal. You go over it with the paint or ink, and then you wipe it off, and the paint's just left in the little indentions of the sizes. So I have a black one, and my numbers are pink. And so I love it. But yeah, do you want to show? I'm still dying to know what your favorites were because you didn't exactly say in the video. So let's go ahead and put.
Do I have to pick one?
No,
or can I just
pick one? But I just want to know like what you. So I'm gonna go.
No, like there's
for a minute.
Several. There's several. I've been pulling them out real quick. First of all, these light pink, like metallic, sparkly guys are 100% a fave.
Thanks for sharing with sister, by the way. Those get shared with sister.
And that was one where I'm like, well, just pick one size, Bernie. And he's like, no, she needs to have 4, 6, and 8 millimeter. You need to send
Bernie's
her
right. He is a very, very wise man.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. But yes.
But these are like enormously long strands. So Jenny, I have no problem splitting these with you.
Yeah. And you aren't going to be able you're not going to be able to just twirl them up and stick them in a bin because his are too full. His strands are not to knot beads. There's not space. They're not.
I need to unstring them and stick them in an organizer.
Right.
Which I will do. We're going to have an organizer and we're going to split these up when I'm at Jenny's house.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think my second favorite are these because they're just so cool.
They're really interesting. They're really interesting.
Vintage chevron ones.
And they have that beautiful lavender color. And the first sale I had some that I believe are 10 millimeter. And then he was like, well, we have more of them like after the sale. And he brought those out. And I'm like, how did you not bring those out to me sooner? Like, what are you thinking? Those are beautiful and they're great. So yeah, I love those. Those are fun. And I tried to make you a couple of little mini collections. That way it wasn't like all one thing. And I wanted to like make sure you got them. Those strawberry Luhana beads, Beki, the Heishis, those are the only version of those shell beads that I have gotten that even separated, they still look pink. So I don't know if you guys have gotten like those pink Heishi shell beads, but then when you take them off and they're not pink unless they're all stranded together. Those ones are pink all the time. And
it's such a light pink too. They're so pretty.
Yeah.
These were those ones that you were talking about, those skunk beads that like they were made like 150 years ago?
Yeah. So these were made in Venice and then they were found in Ethiopia. And he has several versions of this. I featured these ones and some like dark rust red ones with white polka dots. And there was enough interest because this is like a $90 strand of beads. It's obviously much longer than that. But there was enough interest that I broke them down into sets of 10 and they're $20. So typically a full strand would have 50 or so beads on it. And then these ones I pulled off the wall and he said, nope, you are not sending those to her. And I said, well, why not? And he said, because I've had people say that when they sweat, the color comes off. So I took them home because I have a niece who works at an auto body paint store. And I have both matte and gloss sealer that is the same sealant they put over a paint job on your car. And so I went ahead and I sealed yours with the gloss, but I also have matte spray, but those have real brass and that is red and green turquoise and it's authentic turquoise. So I did that. So yours are sealed. You shouldn't have an issue with that. But the polka dots on the skunk beads are like that same pink and green. And so I was like,
I was holding them next to each other. I was like, look at they match almost.
Exactly. And I love them. And I was like, that way the pink wasn't like way in your face with about it. It could become the supporting bead and kind of highlight the skunk beads, which are gorgeous. So
yeah.
Melanie wants to know what state you're in.
I am in Arizona. Are you not able to comment, babe?
No.
Okay. We didn't get to practice, so I'll take care of that. I'm sorry. I didn't realize what was going on. But
these were those face beads that everybody was saying like, oh, these are my favorites too, with their little faces and eyeballs and stuff.
Yeah, and I sent you black and blue ones. So there was only a couple of the evil eye ones, but I wanted you to get a couple of those as well. But
my first thought was like sun faces, but then they're also kind of lion faces.
Yes, with the little like squiggly on the outside.
Yeah,
the lion face, or maybe little panda faces.
Yes, I like the flower faces. That's cute.
Flower face is a good way to think of it too. Yeah, they're really interesting.
Yeah, and
this is not your typical haul. This is not your typical bead haul at all.
No,
your little licorice all sorts.
Yes. Yes, they do look like licorice almost. Yes, but all of the bead, well, other than the tiger eye and maybe a strand or two here or there. Oh, the cherry blossom. All the rest of them are from a trip that he took. All the Czech glass is from a trip that he took to the Czech Republic in the late 80s or early 90s. So that's actually glass from India. And it is glass with pink foil. And I thought those strands were cool because they had so many different shapes on them.
Right?
That, yeah. Yeah, Dana, if you're interested, you can totally log in, check it out. We're going to be doing live sales at 6:15 every Wednesday night on my channel. So, and next week are Bernie's picks. So they're all beads like he wants to show you, but I'm dying for you to show them. Oh yeah, that's the pink. He has so many different colors of tiger eye, you guys. It's ridiculous.
I love this color. This is just such a Beki color. I'm just telling you right now.
I was like, nope, she needs those. Absolutely. The black cherry blossom though were my favorite because if you guys remember a couple months ago, I think it was January, Gemstone Orphanage sent out the last subscription box. And the stones were cherry blossom agate, or I can't remember what they called, multiple names. But when he was like, oh, I have black cherry blossom too. And they're so romantic to me. The soft pinks and almost browns with the black, they're stunning, and I love working with them. They're just, like I said,
it's
very
a real earthy strand.
What?
It's a really earthy strand. This would be really easy to make something for someone who maybe isn't as fond of bright colors, but likes toned down earthy colors.
Absolutely. Or somebody who likes pink but doesn't like pink like Beki likes pink. Those would be perfect for them because they've got the black, which kind of mellows the pink out a little bit more. And they're beautiful to me. And I had to send you Easter egg beads because as soon as I saw them, I was like, she's going to get these just before Easter. So,
you know what? It is Easter today. I'm going to leave these out and I'm going to make some Easter egg earrings.
Oh, cool. Hi, Zach. Glad you could join us. Yes, Beki is here, and so is her sister. But anything else you wanted to show off? I really am dying to know like what your favorite is. I thought the facets on the edges of those rivolis were gonna get you, and so when you noticed them, I was like, yes,
they got me.
Yes,
they got me.
They're beautiful, you guys. Just that little ridge edge has a completely different facet from the rest of the bead. And he's got this one in multiple colors.
I'm trying to get the light to hit it just right. There we go.
Yeah, there you go. And they're so pretty. They're gorgeous. But so which ones are you eyeing, Jenny? I'm dying to know.
Okay, so those pink sparkly ones we started with are definitely on the For Jenny list. I want some of both strands of the Heishis. I don't think she showed the black ones. Those ones were really cool.
Oh,
these were the buffalo?
Yes.
Yeah.
Both
he has those in red too.
Yeah, he has those in red.
Oh my gosh, these two together.
Yes.
Yeah, Beki, I want some of both those strands of Heishis. And I loved the pink and green shells. I loved those. I loved those.
That was a hematite shells.
Yeah, those are hematite. That's another thing that I love about Bernie's beads is that the majority of his spacers, other than like the like brass ones from Africa, or he's got sterling silver and whatever else, but the majority of the spacers in his store are plated hematite, and he has like a whole top row of them. And at the beginning of the year, he got over 200 different ones, different hematite spacers that are all plated. And I love those. They kind of went from the pink to green, which went with the green check glass. You could put those with the shells, like Jenny said. They just all, I tried to like, I didn't want it to be too matchy-matchy, but I wanted you to have like as many choices, but have like I put in the pillow beads kind of to go with the chevrons in case you wanted to use those. And that coral color is also beautiful.
Absolutely gorgeous.
He even has 1,000-year-old beads. Those are like $100 a pop though. Some of them are more because they're literally from over 1,000 years ago, because Bernie has...
They belong in a museum.
No, do you know what I'm about? He literally has the largest private museum of old beads. So
that's amazing.
We'll be on Beading Besties, so we will be showing off some of his beads, and it's going to be great. That's coming down the line. It took me quite a few months to like convince him to do this, and now he's got all of these ideas. And so he's like, "Can I pick out all the beads next time?" I'm like, yes, you can. It's fine. Yeah, those crackle ones are beautiful too.
They're just like a really perfect, like romantically perfect purple color.
Right? They're not too in your face. I love them. And the mini pillow beads. Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm going to pull a couple of these off.
Alrighty. I'm excited to see what you're going to do.
Well, I'm just going to make some simple little earrings with them.
Aww. Jenny, are you excited? I'm so excited to see you guys make with them next week. Like,
Yeah. But Jenny had actually we both had gotten these. This was what we had sort of planned on making with today. Were these little mini bundles.
Oh,
like
okay.
the turquoise mini bundles. We unboxed them together, and then we made some stuff with them. I think, was it during one of my lives, Jenny? The sister one.
Well, you guys did 2 in a row, but I only saw Friday. I didn't miss Saturday.
This one we unboxed offline. You recorded your unboxing, but we went through the packs together.
Yeah, right? But then we made something together, didn't we? Oh no, I unboxed it on my own. So it was something else that we did with our sister thing.
We did. We made from our what was it? They called it Spring Skies boxes. That was a different bundle.
Right.
That's what we did together.
My brain can't keep track of things. Sorry.
And then we did the bonus one, and I unboxed the Gina's Gem Creations.
That's right.
That's
right. So we didn't actually do that, but we both got the same mini bundles. So Jenny wanted to have us create with them today too. And so we just have some simple things that we want to make. Jenny, is your desk thing open? Are we switching things around? I don't know what we're doing.
Yeah, I was going to ask her. Let me see. No, I don't want it that way. I want your bead mat to be that. This is the only thing about StreamYard that I don't know how to do, is how to okay, so this would be Jenny's bead mat. This is Jenny's bead mat.
Yeah. So you probably notice that Becky's and mine are a little bit different, and that's because I have metal allergies. And so when Becky was unboxing hers, she set aside all the ones that were nickel-free or stainless steel and so safe for me to use to give to me. And then I have a whole little pouch full of the same to give back to Becky that are ones that I can't use because they're made with brass, or it's something that's just plated and not certified nickel-free. So I had to dig into my stash because I do have this great little saguaro cactus. But I know that Becky is sending me hers. And so at first when I ordered these, I thought this was going to be larger, and I was like, okay, straight up pendant. But now I want them to be earrings. So I'm going to wait until I get the one from Becky, because she's coming this week. She's going to come on Thursday. But that means I don't really have a focal in this box. And so I grabbed this one from my stash. I thought it kind of went with some of the same kind of teardrop shapes. And like, I love these little guys. Where did my little... I need to get a different dish. I love these little guys. So it kind of goes with those same kind of shapes that you get from these check glass beads, these drops and stuff. So that's kind of what I was thinking of doing, was making a necklace that incorporated some of these kinds of things. So I don't know. That's kind of what I had been thinking about doing. And then I also grabbed from my stash these little leaf charms, because then I can have little dangles, because I like dangles, and they're not exactly like palm fronds or anything like that, but I don't know, to me, because Becky and I grew up in Arizona. We neither of us were born in Arizona, but we lived there for a long time, so we both consider ourselves Arizona girls. Right. And Heather is living in Mesa, so like this felt like a whole vibe, you know.
Exactly, my colors, love them.
So yeah, those are the things I'm going to be playing with for mine. Oh, and these are toggle clasps that are actually nickel-free as well, so I can use them.
And I love that you guys are sharing boxes like that in a way that help both of you guys. So I just, that's awesome to me that you guys do that. I'm trying to figure out.
These mini bundles were from the Beadbox Bargains website. That's the sisters to the Bargain Beadbox subscription.
Yeah, you need to sign up to their emails in order to get those notifications. Just in case anybody didn't see it earlier, I'm going to go ahead and drop the link to my YouTube video again, and our YouTube channel again. And then also, if any of you guys are not a member of the Campbell Creators Facebook page. We would love to have you there. It really is an amazing group of women. I am very diligent about if you send me a membership link and don't answer the questions, I will deny it with a message saying, please resubmit so that you can and answer the questions, because I want it to remain a safe place. This is our art. And a lot of us, this is our therapy. This is what we do. I have a hashtag I've been using called Beating Myself Better, because it's, for me, it's physical pain more than emotional pain. But for some people, it's emotional pain. For some of us, it's both. So like, I'm very, very diligent about keeping that safe, because like I said, it saddens me, but I've heard it over and over and over again. I don't share my jewelry. Nobody knows I make it. I've never posted a picture. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So that was my thing this year.
The beatings will continue until morale improves.
Absolutely. I put up a picture of myself and said, if you're not ready to put up a current photo of yourself, this is the first one I've done in 5 years. If you're not willing to ready to put up a post of your, like, that's yours, put it in a comment here. And
Heather, that was my favorite day. Like it actually spilled over to several days because so many people went ahead and took that initiative that you started and said, you know what, this is a place that I can be myself. Exactly. And they shared themselves with us. It was so fantastic.
And then I did a similar one. It's the second most popular post where I said, hey, if you guys aren't ready to share your jewelry as like an individual post that a bunch of different people are going to see, go ahead and drop a piece in the comments. And I've gotten emails and messages on Messenger of people saying, like, the comments I got about my picture that I shared in those comments is what made me put it out there. So I just want I want that community to be a safe place where people can just share their art. And art is a very personal thing. And this is art. And so like I said, I would love you all to join. Just please answer the membership questions so I don't have to hit decline. But, oh, Jenny, I like that. Are you going to put the flower above the pendant?
I am. I'm going to make a little, because it's not facing the right way. So I have jump rings. I have the jump rings Beki made me here. But I thought it might be fun to make a little bit of a bail so I can string it from a simple loop above. So I was going to do this with these kind of chunky flower spacers.
I love that. And I love that medallion. Did that come in the bundle?
It did not. That's one I grabbed from my stash. It was one that Beki had gotten for me, I believe, from Beadbox Bargains. She knew that I'd be coming into this with a lot of, I don't know if I can use it. One of the great things that I have really liked about Beadbox Bargains is that they will at least identify if the metal is hypoallergenic or nickel free. They will say those words. And if they say those words, then I can get it. And I can trust it not to like leave a sore on the back of my neck like I've had happen before. So like it's not just a minor allergy, it's pretty painful.
Yeah. That's exactly what I want, Dana. That is like the whole thing that makes me happy. And not smaller, you're a much larger content creator than I am, Beki, but she is somebody who has a full-time gig that, you know, she supports her bead habit with. So I have told her, as well as other smaller, like Gina from Sparklease or whatever else, if you guys are more than welcome to use our Facebook community as your own. And if one of your followers wants to show a piece that you inspired, they can tag you there. And then you don't have to have a whole separate group of your own. And we have a great group of ladies. Brandy Michelle from Brandy Michelle Designs. She helps me with moderating. there have been a couple of posts that have gotten through, but I get notified multiple times whenever that happens because you guys are, and I so appreciate it because when it happens and I miss it, I feel bad, but it's nice to know I don't have to do it all on my own. So I love that, Jenny. That's going to be so pretty.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and put up Becky's bead
Yeah.
map real
Becky's
quick
fun.
so that, because I want to see what she's doing. All right, what are we doing, girl?
I've got 2 earrings that I'm going to do. You ready?
Those,
So I've been on an earrings kick this month.
nuh-uh.
You haven't noticed, I've been challenged myself to do at least 1 pair of earrings every day. I have done a pair of earrings today. So these are bonus earrings, but I'm using some of these beads that came in those mini bundles. That's these ones here. And then these are ones that I just bought to go with it because I
They're
love that
perfect.
blue next to some of these
Yeah.
others.
And those even match the Easter eggs.
They do. So
those.
here are the Easter eggs, and they're going to be their own earrings. And I've got these little flower petal sort of bead caps that I'm going to have on either end. And then these are just these little teeny labradorite rounds.
Yeah.
They're just going to be on either end too because they're like this dreamy kind of a color that kind of draws in this dreamy little
Oh, yeah, that little stripe.
and stuff on there.
There were some beautiful light blue sapphire check glass, Becky, that I might have to take a picture and send you of because they're stunning and I think you'd love them and they'd go perfect with that. They were on the done. Yeah, Miranda. I luckily I have a bead daddy. His name is Steve. I know not everybody's lucky. Kim, we're gonna get there. You just need to get your new phone so I can help you.
So I'm just stacking these on a head pin. It's just a ball head pin. And then I'm going to make myself a simple loop up here at the top using my round nose pliers. I'm going to bend over the top first. And then I usually measure on the side of my finger for this. You can use a tool to measure it. And you just want 1 centimeter. And then just snip off the excess.
Becky, Cynthia is wondering when that mini bundle came out.
Oh, geez. It was a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
It was like, it came out and the first one sold out within like an hour.
Yeah.
But you unboxed both with like the item numbers, right?
I did.
So go back and take a look at that. And she always shares the item numbers. The individual beads may still be available even if the bundle is not.
I think I actually want to use a wrapped loop on this, so I'm going to start over with another head pin.
That happens. We got to pivot, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it did come out this month, Cynthia. It was April. It was closer to the beginning of the month. My husband was on a fishing trip, and I had just bought them and asked forgiveness later. But they were special mini bundles, but because of the price, they were $10, and they were $10. And then if you have a discount code, if you're a subscriber, then they were even less. And so they went like hotcakes. They really did. They went like hotcakes. And but then she said she felt bad, and so she put together the second mini bundle that was similarly themed and used a few of the same components. But if you can subscribe to their newsletter, that's the best way to find out about those bundles because they will go very quickly. Even the second companion bundle, they made way more than they have before. There are still some available, but it went from like 500 available when they launched on Friday to like, I think there's 70 something left right now. So
500, that is the most that I've ever seen them make for those companion bundles.
When I put mine in my cart and it was a few minutes after it started, it said 475. So either it may not have been 500, but I'm guessing that there were at least 25 people who got them in their carts and checked out faster than I did. So,
so there's that Easter egg bead.
Oh, I love those.
Love that. Do you want me to show you real quick how I make my ear wires?
Yes, please. Have you seen my 5-second ear wires that I do with ball head pins?
I think I have actually, but
Yes,
I just usually start with some 22 gauge wire.
It's modeled after yours.
And then I take the wire and put it on around the smallest of my 6-step bell making pliers. You can do this on a round nose plier as well, but you're going to have different dimensions for your loops. And then I'm going to be wrapping it around the second to largest loop after I get that first loop made. I want this loop, see how it's kind of facing one direction? I want it facing away from where I'm wrapping it around, though. Then I push that around there. And then I use my chain nose pliers right here next to where the loop is on that side. I'll support this with my finger and then make a little bend.
Nice. My sister-in-law doesn't like the earring hooks that have like the little spring on it, the little coil on it, because she doesn't really like a lot of like dangly earrings. But I made her earrings using your ear wire and she loves them and was like, nope, if you make them like this, I'll wear them all. So she also thought she didn't like pearls, which is her birthstone. But then I made her a bracelet for Christmas that has pearls and her brother's black tourmaline cubes on it, and she loved it. So just these little ones, like not, but because it had like silver and then the black in between them all, she actually really likes the bracelet, which made me happy. Those are so cute.
Easter earrings. I love that. Jenny, what are you making? I want to see.
Yeah, let me put Jenny's mat up real quick.
I'm making some dangles from these turquoise drops right here.
Oh, you love dangles.
I do love dangles. So I've just got them on a little ball pin. And then I added one more like just round spacer that came with one of the bundles. And making a simple loop so that I can dangle them along with these leaves to either side of this. And so I'll kind of have like repeating kind of dangly things from this pattern. So that's kind of what I'm going for. Do you see this here?
I love that, Jenny. I love that.
So when is Jenny's channel coming?
Oh, everybody asks that.
Good question.
You can do it.
But the question is, do I want to?
Yeah.
Like
it's
a lot of the same things I enjoy are the same things Beki enjoys. And so I'm trying to find my niche, the thing that I do a little bit differently. Like your channel is different from Beki's channel. And you can, like, I don't doubt for 1 second that my sister would support me with my channel no matter what I was doing.
So would I.
That's a fact.
But I still feel like it would be better if we had complementary channels than me having a lot of the same content. So I've been kind of about it.
Yeah, that's why she does the organizing and I break down the price per bead. Everybody, there are hundreds of people that do unboxings. You just got to get out there. And the biggest thing I can tell you is to be yourself.
Yeah, but I also love to do the organize. We've talked about how Beki likes to organize and sort things. Gosh, okay. No, are there any little kids listening? Little kids, cover their ears. You know, when Beki and I found out that there wasn't actually a Santa Claus, one of the things Mom did to help the kids keep quiet was she recruited them to help like prepare like the stockings and the gifts and do the basically the Santa activities. And at one point, it was my job to sort or to divide up the candy into the different bags. I would sort by color before it got divided up because I didn't want any of us fighting over like how many green M&Ms you had.
Because kids count those things. It's like we teach them to count and then they're like, she got one more. And we're like, dang it.
Literally, yes.
We teach them to walk and talk and then we ask them to sit down and be quiet the rest of their lives.
Yes. So yeah, kids will do that. But we also, Jenny, we would both like, we'd get into like I guess grandma's button supply and we'd sort stuff. We'd just sort through it.
Just sort. It would end up going back in just, but it was like a fun activity for us to sit and sort beads. Sit and sort buttons.
Dana, I agree. I wanted to make sure I said this while you were on. I told your sister the other night that nothing has made me happier than watching your confidence grow from video to video to video that you've been doing. There are people who have a channel for a year or two before they'll ever go on a live, let alone go on a live with another beater and their sister who has a very successful challenge. Like, I don't even know. I can only imagine. But I tell you, you already set yourself apart because you're yourself. You're Gina. You're Jenny. You don't need to be anybody else. You don't need to worry about doing the same thing as Beki or whatever else. I'm sure. I mean, do you organize the exact same way Beki does?
No, but I use
do it differently.
Organizers and we do a lot of the same things.
It's
but
okay.
The last live that I was on with Beki, and Dana, I have you to thank for getting me thinking about this. Dana, for the first time, had been approached at one of her craft shows, a place where she was selling her jewelry, and was approached by someone who was looking for nickel-free jewelry. And so you're talking a little bit about that. And I was like, maybe that's my niche, is advocating for nickel-free offerings, because we have people who are hobbyists like myself. We have people who are making things. And I have been a buyer. I have gone to want to buy homemade or handmade, beautifully designed jewelry and not been able to because they couldn't tell me if the metal was safe for me to use. And so maybe that's what I do is I advocate that. I'm a reminder of this is a whole other group of people that you can do. And you don't have to make all your offerings nickel free, but even just making some offerings nickel free and doing the effort to have hypoallergenic pieces that you can mark as such, that's a whole other group of people who don't have to pass by your table.
Yes, absolutely. And there are ways to do it. If the base metal is brass, then it doesn't have the same kind of allergies. I believe sterling silver.
No, brass is horrible. Brass is the worst.
Oh, really?
Brass, like basic brass, is the worst. So anything that is brass and plated with whatever, even if it's plated with sterling silver or high grade gold, it will wear off. And it doesn't remove the nickel from the product. Any kind of coating or plating, if there's nickel inside the core metal, it's a problem.
Okay, well, if it's not too painful or whatever, I want to try using that sealant spray that I have. I'll make you some mirror wires, send you a couple, because then if it works, you can seal all of your jewelry. And like I said, it's the same spray, the same stuff they use to clear coat your car after it's painted. And so if you wouldn't mind, I know that might be a little scary. I'm allergic to adhesive. Paper tape makes my skin blister. So I understand like severe allergies like that, but yes. And Kim Evans, they do have the same giggle. And I watch everything on double speed. And when I'm like, unless there's a new technique that I'm trying to learn, I watch everything on double speed because I want to watch as many people's content as I can. And the only way that I have time to do so is to watch it on double speed. And your guys' laugh reminds me of, in double speed, of Rosie O'Donnell when she played Betty on the Flintstones. In double speed, that's exactly how you guys sound. And it cracks me up every time.
Okay, so just to kind of circle back to a couple of things, Dana, I love that idea. That is a great way to be able to sell your earrings to people. For me, I had the worst reaction when I had some coating rub off of like a clasp on my back, the back of my neck. I can tell my ears burn if I have ear wires in. So like if it has nickel, I can tell. But if there's any kind of a coating or plating, it has to be worn over time to know if it's really going to be a problem. And I ended up with this big, nasty sore on the back of my neck, which was awful. But yes, if you do the Soft Flex craft wire, their website specifically states that it's nickel free, and I've had no problem with them. So yes, that is a great way to do that. As far as your idea, Heather, like I said, I would know if it was an immediate problem, but I would be hesitant to.
Got you. That makes complete sense.
Yeah, because like so we're gonna tell another story from my kidhood. So I think I first got my ears pierced when I was like 8 or something, in the 80s. And you had to get like rubbing alcohol and clean them every night and keep them clean so they'd heal, right? Well, mine would never heal. And so my mom thought I wasn't cleaning them properly. And Becky's like, maybe she just has sensitive ears. And because she was a year older, she understood those things better. And so like I had to let my ears grow over entirely. In the 90s, I got them pierced again, had a similar problem. But by then my mom had identified that she also had a nickel allergy. So, or I don't think she knew if it was nickel, but she knew that she had a metal allergy. And so I started getting earrings from the same store that she would get them from. It was an old website, no longer available, called Simply Whispers. It was a catalog for jewelry.
Oh my gosh, I remember that.
It was all stuff that I could wear. And so, but it's geared towards like adult women and not like 14-year-old kids. And so some of it was my style, but a lot of it really wasn't. But So like
there was a lot of 80s fashion too, like in the 90s.
Right.
Yes, yeah. And so I it was great because I could finally wear some things, but I still had problems anytime that I let something go a little bit long. It just like, or I would try to wear something because it was cute and then I would regret it later. But my ears just wouldn't even heal before that. So
I understand. That's why I said, would you want me to? If not, I totally get it.
I think I'd be hesitant because the question is whether or not the sealant lasts permanently, because, car sealants wear off over time with the weather. Yeah. And I would hate to put something in a sensitive part of my body and then get a sore and then not be able to wear the stuff.
Right. That's why I asked first. The funny thing, Ventress, about your comment is that this show is on every Sunday night at 6 p.m. And
it's Heather's show.
It is, but the name did come from Beki. The very first time that Beki came on, I was moderating and we would pregame behind the scenes before it started. And for a while afterwards, with Amy, but I was still in the background.
You were right there.
And she's like, oh, hey, we're like Beading Besties. And I was like, that's genius. And I was like, that's awesome. And so I was originally going to name the show Beading with Besties. And then I was like, I like the way Beki said it. And so I did. That's how the name came about. It did come from Beki. So of course we had to have her on. But so I want to highlight, and it's not just going to be content creators. It's not. So I can, Cynthia, I will send that to you about the sealant spray. Absolutely. If you have an auto body paint store in your area, they'll likely have it, but I can take a picture of them and I'll throw it up in the Campbell Creators Facebook page and put it over there. And I just real quick want to let you guys know, hold on, I want to refresh. So I'm 23 subscribers away from the first giveaway. So when I hit 250, somebody's winning 250 beads. So take a chance. I hope that you guys will enjoy the content that I put out as well. And even more so, I hope that watching strong women Sunday after Sunday, learning their jewelry story, which is completely individualized to each person. I'm hoping that you guys will be able to take from that. You'll be able to hear what other people have done, what their jewelry story is, just so that you can feel that you have a camaraderie, and that you have a community that you can go to. And I know that there are quite a few people that have made friends outside, like friends within the Campbell creators that are then friends outside of it. And nothing makes me happier. Let me tell you, it's like, it just makes my heart happy to see you guys, like, and I love learning all these things. I love learning things. Like, I had people tell me that they'd known Rosanna for years and had no idea she started making jewelry because her parents required them to make their Christmas presents for their siblings. So that's how she got into it. And then Gina shared her story last week about that she started beading while she was in a mental hospital getting treatment. And that it became, and it was actually her story that launched the hashtag that I use there and on all of my videos now. And it just says beating myself better, because I do it so I'm not focused on my physical pain. It gives me something else to focus on every day. So I like to say that, like, I turn my pain into beauty. And so beating myself better fits me too. And so yeah, I just love it. And I've seen quite a few posts in the group and outside of the group using that hashtag, and it just makes me so excited. So yes, TT's Trinkets and Treasures is my YouTube channel of interest. Yes. I think that I'm using my sister-in-law's computer, so I don't know it. Like, oh, yep, there we go. There it is. And that will go out as Becky on her channel. That's what happens when you stream to multiple channels. If she were to type something, it would go out to my channel as me, and same thing. So if you're seeing it like she just posted, that's how. But yeah, right? See, Jenny, it is. That is your story. Look.
You like that?
Look.
You gotta post it up.
Yeah, I did.
I can do that. I can make pretty things and say this is something that anyone can wear.
But you make pretty things that don't hurt anybody. So like that could be your
other
thing.
People make things that hurt people. So I think it's better.
Oh, that's true.
Like I'm making things that anybody can wear because
better accessible, more accessible.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a great way. I'm glad that you changed that. Just like I try not to say, like, I try to say gender neutral or things like that, just because my brain is hardwired. I was in HR for 12 years before I had to stop working. So my brain is like hardwired to think of every possible way anybody could take something before it gets put out. So, but yeah. All right, Angela, thanks for coming out. Love you too, Angela. Oh yes, Gina, you're getting there, girl. I promise you. You already are friends with other beaters. You're friends with me. And Becky and I, our friendship is kind of like a little. Becky and I became friends when I told her that her video gave me a migraine.
Yes, exactly. You had mentioned how much you liked watching it, but that there was I think it was the zooming in and the zooming out, or was it the noise? It was one or the other.
It was focusing. It kept zooming
the focusing.
In and it would
go. When that was happening, it was giving you a migraine, and I was like, well, how can I fix that? And like I sat there with my I'm a troubleshooter by nature.
That's your superpower.
Yeah. I take problems and I figure out how to fix them. And so like I was like, how am I going to make this better so that it doesn't give people migraines? Because I did not want
but
to hurt people with what I made.
It helped me. It helped Amy. It helped a lot of other beaters to realize that when they have too much stuff on their mat, that issues like that happen. And so, but when I did so very kindly. And I was like, and Becky responded kindly, and that was the start of our friendship. So
I think another huge thing was just you letting me know how much it meant to you to be able to spend some time just with my videos, because I was worried. I was worried that I was spending too long on my videos. There were a lot of tutorials out there that were just the facts, ma'am. We're going to do this and we're going to do that. And like really great editing without like spending a lot of time talking about things, without, you know, just cut and dry going through that. And I was getting a little bit, I felt like I was being too verbose, too wordy, too chatty. I actually had somebody complain about me being too chatty, but I've tried not being chatty and it doesn't work.
No.
Again, but you letting me know how much that meant to you when you were like in the hospital, like that meant a lot to me, that I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just make these as long as I want to, because there are people who appreciate it. There are people who, you know, like somebody said, I wish that I had beading friends, and like I didn't have beading friends until I started making videos.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why I say hi friends, is because it's like, you know what, if you're sitting here spending time with me while I'm making my stuff and talking to myself in front of a camera like a crazy person.
Yeah.
You know, it's we're being friends. We're doing stuff together, and like even if I don't see you doing it,
Right.
it still is like, for me, community. It's still being part of that and having a beauty friend that you can count on. And I appreciate that so much. Like that's one of the reasons I am such a big fan of other YouTube creators getting out there and creating tutorials, is because like more friends, more people sitting at the table, there's room for everybody.
Dude, and I would love if you and your sister did joint unboxings. That would be amazing, because I wanted to do one. I wanted to do one because I watched several unboxings of the same box, because I want to see what sprung in their heads and like what they thought when they saw this or that, or like what they put together. And
is it a horse or a dragon?
Right?
Right? Exactly. Oh my gosh. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Steven said you guys need to do unboxings without being on camera, and people have to guess who giggled at the time.
Oh my gosh. I want to just reply to a few of the people who've been responding to my exclamations here. Good night, Melanie. Love you. But also, everybody's saying, watching me all the time. Love beading with you. You bring so much light and love into the world. That means a lot to me. Should always be who you are in your videos. I can't be anybody else, Nicole. I've tried. Tried.
Don't do it. Don't try. You know what else I like? You don't talk to people. You're one of the first people that I watch. You don't talk to us like you're dumb. Like we're dumb when you're explaining stuff.
Nobody's dumb out there.
You don't go on and on and on and on. You don't go ad nauseum like we don't know what we're doing, but you also do it in a kind, considerate way while still being concise. And like, it's great. And you will show a skill once or twice maybe, but then you go on. You go on and do it. And I get it. New people may need to see it more than that. I'm starting a new series called Heather's How-Tos, where there will be 2 or 3 shorter videos throughout the week on like a single topic, like loops. And then there will be a live at the end of the week where people can come and ask questions, or I'll answer any questions in the other video comments, and then they can go there. And if they need to learn like loops, for instance, I will do it on simple loops. I will do it on wrap loops. I will talk about the pros and cons of both. Things of that. The one-step looper. There's so much loop stuff that can be talked about that I don't think needs to be a full-on hour long. I think it'll be easier if someone's looking to learn how to do specifically a simple loop or whatever else. That would be hard, but it's great. And you can't please everybody all of the time. So just worry about making sure you're good with yourself. You're being authentic. You know who you are, and that's who you're presenting. And people are going to gravitate towards that because that's all we want. We want authenticity.
Yeah. Well, I just think there are enough people who are creating content that what fits for a certain person will vibe with them, and if my content doesn't fit, that's cool. I'm okay with that. Yeah. There's a lot of really amazing content creators whose vibe will fit for them.
Right. And I will tell them every single video, this is not the only way to do this skill. Please do not think that you have to do it the way that I do it. Please go watch several other content creators do this skill, because we all teach and learn differently. And I would never want somebody to watch one of my like little instructionals and then be like, I can't do it, so I just shouldn't do jewelry. No, maybe you just did like this, like the magical crimper. I tried and tried and tried and tried and tried. And then it was finally Becky's Merrymakers video, and she showed it at one point, and it was kind of mangled looking. And she's like, nope, just keep going. And I'm like, oh girl, that's what all mine look like. And I realized I was just giving up too early. That's all I was doing. And as soon as I saw that, and like I even put it up on the TV to make sure I was seeing, I put it up on the big 80 screen inch TV just to make sure I wasn't like, old eyes. And now I do them just fine, and it's great. And I've gone on live messengers and showed people one-on-one so they can ask questions as I do it. And I love beading, but I think the teaching aspect of it and the camaraderie and the like cheerleader aspect of it, like cheering other women on.
Yeah.
Like that's my favorite part of it. The community. It's the sweetest. I'm a dog breeder, and you would not believe how catty that dog world is. It's ridiculous. And I have 1% of my interaction with others in the beading community has been negative. The rest of it has been great.
I just want to reply to Miranda real quick. She asked which of the one-step loopers I use the most. The 2.5 millimeter one is the one that I find the most versatile, or 2.25, not 2.5.
Yeah.
It's the yellow handle one. Let me grab it real quick. This one. That's the most versatile one, because there's more that you can do it with, more sizes of wire.
That's my favorite too.
Yeah. So like if you're only going to be buying one, this is the one.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah, and they're expensive. I get it. And it's good. Yes, Tina. Yeah, it is fun to watch people unbox their jewelry or go over on it. And Amy is an amazing unboxer. And there have been people that have accused her, like Goosebumps, of being fake and whatever. I have been in Bernie's Beads with her for 8 hours, and she picks up a bead and connects with it. She literally gets goosebumps all over her entire body. That is not fake. It's not something like, when she gets that excited, that is 1000% authentically who she is. And yeah, I just think that we need to give her some time. I saw a video recently, and kind of asked people to stop posting like, where's Amy, and instead, like, if you want to, just go ahead and say, hey, love you, Amy, thinking of you. I think that will help more than the where's Amy's messages, because I know that that's putting added stress on her. So as a friend of hers, I would just say, like, just an encouraging word. That is what's great. But yes, I love Amy, and I'm confident that things are going to go great. So yeah.
You just need some time. We all need some time sometimes.
You watching a 7-year-old video with yes, exactly, Tina. That's how it is with me. Like how I do my loops and stuff. It's awesome. And yes, I have same, Tina. I watched several people do the nodding, but it was the way Sarah Lovecraft showed how to do it that clicked with me. But I also know how to do it with tweezers too, because I learned that from Kelly, from Kelly's Bead Boutique. So I go back and forth with both, whether I use like the nodding tool. But my favorite, I have very fine tipped tweezers that I like to use that are like sharp. If you poke yourself with them, it's going to hurt, kind of pointy tweezers. And that's my favorite. But yeah, Tina, it doesn't matter if it's perfect. You finished it. That's a success. That is a success. We have to celebrate the small stuff, guys.
Absolutely.
If we're waiting for the big achievement, you're gonna sit there And you're going to say, well, is this big enough for me to celebrate? Is this big enough? I don't know. Is this big enough? Just do it. Celebrate it. It's great.
That's another thing is Jenny had mentioned that whole like the gifted kid thing where if you're not immediately good at it, you're just like, I'm just going to give up or something. It's that Jenny has a little bit more of a perfectionist streak than I do.
Mm-hmm.
where you need things to be a little more perfect, which is just you. That's how you do things. So like, you know, when we would be painting together, I would just be slapping some paint on the paper and being like, okay, now it's good. And Jenny would be like, no, it has to be perfect, and like spending more time on it. And the end result of what we paint would be completely different. And hers would be like more detailed and mine would be more like cartoony. And they'd still both be good is the thing. Like perfection is the enemy of good.
Yeah. Pauline and
absolutely
Sylvia,
is.
I'm sorry. I know that most of the time it's a lot more interactive. There are 3 of us on the screen, as well as this is the largest commenting pool that I've had on one of these episodes because Beki has a lot more followers than I do. We would never like try to leave somebody out. There's just been like the comments go up and I have to like hit a button to take a comment off the screen. So I promise it was nothing besides I've got to call you back tomorrow. And we'll do so. But yes, I'm sorry if you felt like we didn't mention you. There was nothing personal about it. There are 3 of us trying to talk at the same time. If you've ever gone out to lunch with your girlfriends, sometimes everybody kind of talks over each other. But yes, we're happy you were here. I hope you enjoyed the show. I think we might want to wrap it up though, because we went over a little bit over an hour, but Jenny, please share your finished necklace in the group because I see it. I love it. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
So I want to see the finished piece when you have finished it because it's beautiful.
Thank you.
It is very pretty.
I did at least finish earrings. So
yeah, I love the way that you dropped the pendant down so that it wasn't going to knock into the dangles. Yeah. Putting those beads on top really did help with that. And then Beki, let's see your earrings, both pairs. Those are adorable.
My Easter egg earrings, and I've got these dragonfly teardrop earrings.
Love those. I love how you use the bellflowers as bead caps almost. That's cool. So, I really want to thank all of you guys for both of you for being here. I don't know why.
Thank you for having us on, Heather.
Yes, it was so much fun. I really enjoyed it. I hope that you have a great rest of your night, and I hope that we'll see you again. Beki has her late night beading with Beki on Friday. Just a little thing. I kind of like the 8:30 time. Personally, I liked it. I was still awake. But anyways, Jenny, I'm so glad that you agreed to come on. Watching your confidence bloom around beading has been like my favorite thing ever. And we need to hook up so I can tell you that and not have to tell you through your sister. But all right, guys. Thank you.
Thanks for spending time with us.
Grandma Gay, thank you for making 2 beautiful, strong women that I simply adore. I hope that you guys have a good rest of your night and that we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.